May Hashem's name will be blessed forever and ever. We dedicate this shiur for Shalema, speed of recovery for everybody. You mentioned a few names, Ivat Abraham and Evelyn Bat Moshe, and any other names you want to mention. And of course to Shelby Murphy and Sandy Murphy and the entire family. Also to Andy Rojas. And I want to say Toda Rabba. I want to greet the host for hosting the shiur. May Hashem bless you with all the berachot in the Torah for you and your children, Be'ezrat Hashem. And I want to thank Chana for helping out with setting up the Zoom. We want you to know that we have Zoom. Be'ezrat Hashem, from now on, we're going to have Zoom. You can join. We will advertise it on the WhatsApp group and on the Facebook. If you see something that says Zoom, we didn't have a title, Toda Rabba. We didn't have a title, right? So Be'ezrat Hashem will work on title, just maybe Torah class at 8 o'clock. So you know that this is the Zoom. We have it on the Facebook, if you want to go to our Facebook. If you can hear better on the Zoom, or if you can talk, and on Zoom you can participate and ask questions. So you may do so. Just join us on the Zoom. You have the link there. So Toda Rabba, and of course to Vicky Rojas that she's uploading all the classes. Even from before I get home, it's already uploaded. Toda Rabba for everybody. All the participants have share in the Torah learning. We're going back to what we've learned before the Hagim, the holidays, about what I like to teach is about laws, about mundane, regular things that we do and practice every day. Because people asking me, did I say asking me now? No. Because I hear it lately. I want to ask you something. You heard that before? Ask. Anyways, so people asking me about...
It's the wrong group.
No, yeah. So they asking me, what is the proper way to do Netilat Yadayim? And what if I miss half a hand and I did only 2 times? And what's the proper amount? And what's the proper utensils? And I'm on the field. Can I use an empty bottle, Coca-Cola bottle, as a utensil? Mm-hmm. And what if I was doing my way to the table and someone came and said Shabbat Shalom and shook my hand? Is my hand impure and I have to wash my hands again? And why we need to wash our hands in the begin with? I can use a soap or 99.9 germs killer. What do you call it?
To kill the germs.
Hand sanitizer.
Huh?
Hand
sanitizer.
Alcohol.
You want alcohol? I don't have it here, but I bring it with me. Be'ezrat Hashem. We have whiskey, we have vodka, we have aranis, we have good stuff. So, what's the deal? What's the deal?
All that is legitimate because...
Why we need to wash our hands? So I just want to remind you that this is... thank you. Ruben is joining us. Shalom Aleichem. So people asking me, what's this all about? I'm not going to read the whole introduction, all what it's all about, but I'm going to mention that there is a reason why we are washing hands today. One of the main reasons is because back then you could not touch things. But back then, I mean, when you have the Beit HaMikdash, the temple, it would make them impure. And also the Kohanim has to wash hands as an act of preparation for Kedusha. Nonetheless, their hands, let's say, completely sanitized, completely clean. So we won't forget when Hashem, Be'ezrat Hashem, eventually send Mashiach and build the Beit HaMikdash. We know already, we practice, we know exactly what's Netilat Yadayim. We start, to the worship in the Beit HaMikdash, the work can start immediately, right on the spot. Okay? So that's one of the reasons. If you need a kippah, maybe...
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It's recommended to listen to Torah learning with head covering. Yes. So, okay. So now we stopped where is the utensils. What are the proper utensils for Netilat Yadayim, for washing hands? The halacha says in order to perform the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim, washing hands, okay? I'm going to use this term Netilat Yadayim that most of you here know, but some don't know the Hebrew meaning of it. Netilat Yadayim meaning washing hands. Can you hear me properly, Ruben? Because the microphone is a bit away. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam shehakol nihyo b'dvaro.
Amen.
So, in order to perform the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim, one must pour water onto the hands from container that it has halachic status of keli. Someone that you call it kli, utensil. What does that mean? The container can be of any material. Amen. Wood, glass, stone, dried earth, or even dried dung. That's what it says?
Yeah.
Even though containers made from some of those materials are not susceptible. What's that? What is it? Can you read this?
Susceptible.
You need glasses.
Susceptible.
Susceptible, right? It's a silence.
Yeah.
Susceptible in becoming tameh, in absorbing the tumah, some of them. Susceptible, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They are nevertheless considered kelim and may be used for netilat yadayim. For washing hands, we'll be lenient as long as it can hold the water in it. Can I use washing hands, let's say grape juice or orange juice?
No.
Water?
Water only.
Yeah.
Which case I can use any liquid that I want. Which case I can use any liquid I want. And it's called washing hands. In Ma'im Achronim, at the very end, before Birkat Hamazon, it says all kind of liquids are kosher for Netilat Yadayim. It's to remove the bad spirit, the Ruach Ra'ah, the Sitra Achra, and so forth and so on. But before eating must be water. And water in the quality that, with using this term, that a dog will drink from. If it's too dirty that even dog won't drink from, it disqualifies the water. Okay?
Something that has soap on it
Or soap, right? Or water that was used for some type of work, they're already disqualified. Or it's a good example,
egg.
boiling eggs and so forth and so on. You can't use it.
it.
No, use it for Netilat Yadayim. If someone took a large spoon, soaked it in water, and then squeezed it out over his hands, sponge.
Sponge.
I don't know what happened to me there.
Become
I know I'm after almost 3 hours playing racquetball. My hand and my body is not in shape. Yeah, I can barely sit. It's a big competition we had today. Anyways, if
Did you win?
always. I lost one game, but make it up for it.
Good question.
Well, we can also use sand, no?
Huh?
Sand.
If you don't have water, I mean?
Right.
We'll get to it. Now we're discussing water.
I have a question. You know, it's not about the.
Noreen, please control Oded.
It's about the rocket.
The rocket ball?
Is it okay to let other people win, even though you can win them?
Yeah, sometimes I do that just for a moment. Not funny. I have to win everything I play. Everything I do. I play against my kids, I have to win. It's something in my... this is me. Anyways, if someone took large sponge, sucked it in water, and then squeezed it out over his hand, he has not fulfilled the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim at all. A sponge is not considered a keli at all, even though it can hold liquids. Make sense?
How about if you make it into a cup?
That's fine, but not from it to the hands.
Right.
That's different. Now, you remember everybody uses it on a daily basis, the disposable cups.
Right.
The foam, the cardboard, whatever element, the paper cups, are they qualified to be used for Netilat Yadayim? So as we learned, plastic and cardboard containers can likewise be used for Netilat Yadayim, even if it is a disposable container meant to be used once and then discarded. It's still kosher for this mitzvah. If another container is available, however, it is best to refrain from using disposable container. Why? Who can tell me why?
Because it has no, it's not really designed for that.
Okay. What else?
It wasn't the purpose for it.
Could it because you don't know what it was used for before, or it could be?
No, it's new. Let's say it's new. I'll give you a hint. Ma? It doesn't have to in the mikveh because it's
Plastic for cup or
no, yeah, it's a
disposable.
Why disposable cups are
why disposable. If you have disposable cup and I have the regular cup that we're using, okay, even the plastic one, like I says, it's preferable to use
The regular.
the plastic or the silver coated one you have. Why? When you have Shabbat, what is more appropriate to serve? With nice glass or for the wine or foam? The both holds the liquid. But what would be more appropriate?
The one that you designed.
You show more respect
Yeah.
to the mitzvah. The one that is designed for, or the glass one. Same here. You show more respect to the mitzvah using such a container.
In Netilat, you don't have to dip it in the mikveh?
No. But you have to dip in the mikveh. You know what? This is maybe something we'll do next. I think we've learned them back then. I will do it again, Bezrat Hashem. Basically, you have to dip in the mikveh utensils that you use for food, in food processing. You eat, you cut with, you slice with, whatever. You peel. And we learned there's other tricks to do instead of going all the way to the mikveh, which makes it easier. Bezrat Hashem, we'll get to it, we'll learn that. It's nice to do this mitzvah
They're like the aluminum
every
trays.
once in a while. It's a bracha. It's a, some people don't never do that. It's a special mitzvah to do and a special bracha. Now, I'm sorry?
Like this old aluminum trays, they have a no you on it. So somebody asked me, why no you? It's not like you're going to eat
Sometimes it's coated with...
it. So what it is that you don't have to take that one to the mikveh.
It's a debate among the poskim if this is something you can reuse or not. For example, I have the jars, the olive jars. After I empty it, people use it for other purposes.
Salsa. I use it.
Salsa, my wife uses it for schug. So you have to. So some rabbis I said, now for the first time you don't have, but now you want to use it regularly. It isn't meant to be like that. You have to. Eventually, we follow the halacha. We in my house that we don't have to because we can use it as is when we don't take it to the mikveh. Now, what is the minimum amount? You know the shot, the 1 ounce shot? Can I use that? One to this hand and one to this hand. What's the minimum amount?
86 maybe.
Good. The container must be able to hold at least a revi'id, 81 or 86 cc, around 3 ounce of water. Any container smaller than this cannot be used, even if one refills it several times. And that will answer the question for those who want to ask. Okay.
Can you use directly from the faucet?
It will get to it, but the answer is yes in place that you don't have a utensil. So you have to close and open the... Do you have any tissue here?
Yes.
The allergy season started.
Por favor.
Thank you.
Yeah, tissue.
Now, every utensil that was fixed, it has hole in it, either made out of copper or I don't know, and it was fixed, can be used, is qualified. But if you have another option, it's better to use the whole one versus the fixed one. Okay? All right. Sometimes you see they selling in the Judaic store different size of natlot. It's called natlot. These cups, these containers. And people often ask which one I should take. I see this one that's really big, and one is medium, and one is really small. So now we know the minimum amount. Obviously, you can use the most beautiful one, the one that you desire. Once that's, but now when you know actually the minimum amount. Okay. Whenever possible, one should use a container that is not punctured or cracked at all. I'm skipping here the bang.
It doesn't have to have ears either, right?
No, doesn't have to.
No spout.
You know, the term ears is really interesting. My grandma always tell me, you know, it says in Hebrew, it says ozen.
Yeah, okay.
And in Arabic they said ba in his ear ba'udno or ozen udno. My grandpa used to say when I to help him, he says, hold that in ba'udno ba'ozen. He said, but my guys say ozen. It was funny to me that they called it ozen. Days later I saw in the Mishnah used the same term, that the holder is called ozen.
Yeah. Called ears.
So the Yamin are using terms from the Mishnah. Yeah, go ahead.
The ears is allowed or not allowed?
It's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to have it.
Okay.
It just makes
I
it.
thought it was not valid if there's
No,
It's fine. What about one that, let's say, a pitcher that holds a pitch
Yeah.
that holds
Yeah, it's the
water.
same. You call it the same thing.
Something.
Pitcher.
That has the head. It's not round at the top. It has
Like a square.
spout.
a spout.
A square spout.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use that?
No. It said no before.
We talked about that before.
Yes.
Oh, you remember?
Automatic graduation.
It has to be round.
That's for sure. She's on the way. So most pitchers have a spout to facilitate pouring.
Right.
Some poskim rule that if this spout raises higher than the rest of the pitcher's rim, one may not use this pitcher for Netilat Yadayim and pour the water through its spout. They argue that the spout cannot be considered part of the container since it is not possible to fill the container up to the top of the spout. Instead, one must pour the water from the lower rim of the pitcher. Sephardic Jew may practice leniently regarding this case, but it is commendable to avoid if it is possible. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If the spout is equal to the very top, there is no problem.
Can you use it on the other side?
Yes.
Not on the
On the other side, that's a way to do it. There's no problem. It is not possible to perform the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim by having one person pour water from his cupped hand onto another person's hand. Let's say there is a barrel here, or is a faucet. You open the faucet. There's no who says, "Okay, stand here," and then he take. He makes his hands as a kli, that's what it says. 1, 2. He can't do that. Right, Toda Rabba. It's a good example. So you see, in this case, you should pour from here in this area. And this one,
No problem.
you can do from the top because it doesn't have this spout thingy. Thank you for the. Huh?
I said thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So it's not possible to perform the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim by having one person pour water from his cupped hands onto another person's hands. Netilat Yadayim must be from a utensil, as we've learned. Now this is maybe the most important halacha in regards to Netilat Yadayim. We know already that it has to be from a cup. The next one is called koach gevra. It's an Aramaic. The power of a man. What does that mean? In performing Netilat Yadayim, the water must be poured by a person onto the hands being washed. If the water falls by itself onto someone's hands, he has not performed the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim. In Talmudic terms, the rule is called koach gavra. It has to come from your power. You see, I don't know, water falling. You just put your hands there. It's not good. You have to come from your. There's things in Kabbalah that have to be from your hand. It has to be the right hand. Chesed and Sefirot.
It can be like a waterfall.
You can use the waterfall to fill up a cup.
But you cannot stick your hands to
Right. For Netilat Yadayim, before we eat. Okay? You can do that all the time just for fun. It's no problem. Talking about Netilat Yadayim, there's no question. Okay? If someone draws water in a bucket from a river or any other source and pours it into an irrigation cancel or a pipe that spills onto a field some distance away, it is not possible for anyone to perform Netilat Yadayim by placing the hands under the flow of water as it spills from the pipe out into the field. The water falling on the hands is not considered to have been poured by a person. Okay? So, let's see if we talk here about what if you don't have a utensil and you are by the river. Okay. In case that you don't have, it's a long halacha, I'm just going to summarize it. You don't have a utensil, you don't have a keli for Netilat Yadayim. You, in case that you're stuck, can wash with using the opening and closing the faucet, and it's like comes from the power of your hand because you close it and you open it. Right. So you do on each end 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, from the faucet. Okay, let me skip this part.
If you don't have
Okay.
any flea at all, you don't even have a faucet, you have, let's say,
A river, and you want to know if you can dip your hands in the river.
you with your hand to the other hand.
Okay, so if you have, let's say, a river, let's say it's immersing hands in a river or a container. Okay, it's a big container, I can move it. I don't know if I can immerse my hands. If someone immerses his hands in a ma'ayan, spring water, right, he has fulfilled the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim. This is the halacha, even if the ma'ayan contains less than 40 se'ah water. It's small for a mikveh, for a woman to dip herself there. It's too small. But Netilat Yadayim is as long as he is able to immerse his hands entirely in the water. He may also recite the blessing of Al Netilat Yadayim for this act of immersing his hands. Definitely you can do that in the mikveh. Okay. Any questions so far? Now I want to discuss in the next 5 minutes, and maybe we can conclude with that, about which water are kosher and which not. Water that fits for Netilat Yadayim. If a water has an appearance of some other liquid, whether because of some additive, because of its location, or due to some natural causes, it is unfit for the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim. Brenda? Brenda?
Yeah.
What about water that was mixed with muddy water? Muddy water. Muddy water is still fit for Netilat Yadayim, the mitzvah, despite the fact that it is not transparent. This is considered the natural color of water, since many natural bodies of water are muddy. Nevertheless, if the water are not potable and even a dog could not drink from it, it is unfit for this mitzvah.
What about clothes?
It's fine. But then if it's too much, well, like in the pool, if a dog would drink from it, yes, but if it's too much איך אומרים את זה? bleach,
Yeah.
that's going to be a problem.
But water that we have here, or every water that we have in the faucet is some kind of flow.
Yeah.
Every water out there, outside?
No, the water from our faucet has,
No, that's perfectly fine.
has economica in it.
Yeah, it's economica and it has fluorine and
The water in the swimming pool minimum have 35 or 50 chlorine
Right.
in the water.
now it's important to know what we mentioned at the very beginning, that once water has been used for some purpose, it is disqualified for the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim. If someone soaked bread in the water, it is disqualified. If someone intended to soak the bread in one container and is accidentally fall into another container of water, the water in the second container is likewise disqualified. Okay.
I apologize, Rabbi. Can you repeat that last part?
Right. If any type of work was done with the water, like some people soaking bread in it,
Okay.
or stuff like that, so it's already disqualifying.
Or you use it to wash
People using to wash the dishes,
Yeah.
and I want to know if these water are qualified for Netilat Yadayim. Nonetheless, disgusting, but I don't. If water are used to rinse dirty utensils, it is disqualified of the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim, even if the utensils are new and only dusty. The water used to rinse them is disqualified. If the utensils have already been cleaned and are now given an extra rinse, the water is not disqualified, since nothing was accomplished by rinsing the utensils. So basically you can see from here that the purpose of the water was for something else.
Right.
Soaking vegetables, boiling eggs, washing dishes. So this water has different status spiritually. You should use regular water to wash your hands. If you have water from bottles and regular faucet, use the faucet, because normally people use it for drink.
Right.
It'd be kind of like of a waste. But if you don't have, use that cup. Use that spring water or bottled water that you buy at the stores. Some bakers has on the table a bowl with water, so they soak their hands sometimes to clean, sometimes for the, and people wants to know if you can use this water for Netilat Yadayim. So the halacha says that after a baker rinses his hands in a basin of water, to remove to remove the dough that is stuck to them, the water in the basin is disqualified for the mitzvah, even if it still appears like regular water.
Yeah.
So
You can use it.
use it. And here they're bringing a lot of examples of the barber water and the Smith, the container and the Smith.
The blacksmith.
Blacksmith on that. You know that we have a water. It's interesting. We have a water that we put in a hot bottle of water that people put on the stomach,
Right.
or the rubber thingy, right?
Right.
The water actually, if you pour it to a bowl after they get cool, the dog will drink from it.
Right.
It's fresh water.
Uh-huh.
The halacha says if someone filled the hot water bottle for a medicinal purpose, the water cannot be used afterward for Netilat Yadayim. Likewise, if someone boiled eggs on the stove, the water in the pot is disqualified for the mitzvah of as a used water. Okay, for the same reason. It's pretty easy to remember all these things. Okay, any questions?
Self-explanatory.
Tricky question. I have a nice container, aquarium. Now I want to put fish in it with water, just temporarily, before I put them to the big container. Because I don't know, I'm cleaning it maybe, and we want to use now this water after we took out the fish to the big container, the big aquarium, for Netilat Yadayim. And the fish, the small fish, was there just for, I don't know, an hour or so. What's that like, huh? If someone places live fish in a container of water for a short time to keep them alive, the water remains fit for the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim. The water of an aquarium, however, is disqualified for the mitzvah. Lama? If I go to the river, it's full of fish.
Right.
If I go to a pond, it could be a lot of fish there. Why in the aquarium is not?
Because it was separated for the fish for that purpose.
Nature.
No, okay.
There's all the cleaning and the water.
Aquarium.
Since it contains the refuse of the fish that lives in it,
Right.
the waste, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Even if the fish is placed for the short time in a container of water, if the fish dies, the water is disqualified. Unless the fish was removed as soon as it died. When it was dying, it's okay. It's dead there. Okay. Then, oh, I don't know if you have it here. In Israel, it's very common that you have, even here, water that coming out of air conditioning.
Oh yeah.
With the pipe. Some
Yeah.
places, I know in my grandpa, they used to go on the
Irrigated.
the
no?
path to the house. So it
Right.
was all. So one day we brought a big barrel, we stuck the pipe in it, and then they use it to water the plant. They have parsley there, they have cilantro.
Yeah.
It was really good for these vegetables. Now I want to know if I can use this water for נטילת ידיים. מה אתה אומר עודד?
Why
מים
not?
שיוצאים מהמזגן, מותר נטילת ידיים?
No, they're not pure.
You
It
can
is.
drink from it?
They can.
That's it.
Because
I was
it's
right
not
or not?
it's not a waste. It's actually it's condensed from the pressure and the gas.
Some says it's good to drink because it went through a filter. I will not drink from it. I cannot imagine someone drinking all the, because it's getting all the disgusting stuff inside the house. I don't know what people coughing there, people smoking. I don't know.
But the dog can drink it.
So the halacha says